Let's talk about supplemental tax bills. Let's get started. Okay, so what are supplemental tax bills? This primarily affects buyers when they buy a home. The supplemental tax bill, the easiest way to describe it is that is the difference between what you paid in escrow as part of your closing costs for the property taxes versus what you actually need to pay. They do that because the escrow company doesn't know what your property tax basis is going to be, so they do it based off the current owner's bill. But most homes have appreciated, and in California, you can only raise property taxes by 2% per year. So therefore, it's going to be off. There's going to be a delta, and you as the buyer have to be responsible for it. So as part of my, we'll call it whiteboard series, let's get started. So let's say you buy a house for $800,000. All right, great job. It's a house hack, house with ADU, whatever it is. So that's the buy. Ta-da. Now, your property taxes is gonna vary literally by county, sometimes even by neighborhood if there's any extra taxes or fees related to that area. So example might be a Melrose if you're in Santa Clarita, it might be some sewer assessment, whatever it is. But for the sake of this conversation, typically for LA County, it's about 1.25% of the assessed value. Now, how do they calculate the assessed value? They do it typically based on what you paid for the property. It's the easiest way to do it. So in this case, we're looking at $10,000 per year that you have to pay in property taxes. Great, cool. Now, because escrow doesn't know you'll be paying $10,000 a year, they're going to do it based off what the current owner is paying. Current owner bought their property for $600,000. All right, it's a game of appreciation. So we'll put seller here. Ta-da. Now, the seller in this example has been paying approximately, let's say $7,500, right? 1.25% of $600,000. Property taxes. So you paid escrow an equivalent of your portion, right? So depending on when you close in the year determines how much property taxes you pay, because you're not going to pay for when you don't own it. That makes sense. But they're looking at it like this. So they're going to say, okay, now there's a delta of $2,500 that needs to be covered. Now you've paid part of that as part of your closing costs. And of course, it depends on when you pay, so it can, or when you buy the property, so it can vary. But let's just say you bought it at the beginning of the tax year, which I believe is July, and you pay part of it in closing costs. Let's say you paid off $500 of it. Now you're going to get an outstanding balance of $2,000. Now that $2,000 is going to be split up into two bills. So it's not like you have to come up with $2,000 now. You'll just have to come up with $1,000 when the first tax bill comes, and then the other $1,000 when the second. When that happens, we're done. You don't have to worry about it anymore because now you're gonna be consistently paying your $10,000 per year, whether it's you're paying it outside of your escrow account with their lender, or if you're having the lender cover it. So what are some ways around this? There isn't. What is interesting is during the recession, fun fact, because it's based off the assessed value, when prices dropped, if you can prove to the county assessor that, hey, look, my bill is based off my assessed value and my value was at 800, now it's at 600, I want a reduction in my property taxes. Sometimes you can pull that off. We have seen that happen. We'll talk about it in a later video, but it's unlikely we're gonna see any major price reductions. But just kind of a fun fact, that is it for my supplemental tax bill segment. Love to get your thoughts. Comment below. What other videos do you like? What videos would you like to see that involves whiteboard so I can write it out for you? Let me know in the comments. Of course, don't forget to follow me, so subscribe depending on where you're watching this. Thank you so much, everyone, and you guys have a great rest of your week.